talked a bit about security, but we'd like to dive in now, do a deep dive on that. In your opinion, what are the top 3-4 major security threats that Nigeria is contending with right now, and how do you propose to solve them?
Number one is, of course, getting this terrorist incursion into our land to be as eradicated as possible. So the counter-terrorism war needs to be brought to a transparent enough conclusion. Not that it would end, because every society now has to confront the reality that terrorism is always around and waiting to be given a place to perch. But bringing this to as quick an end as possible in a way that is honest is going to be very important. The number two is, of course, the conflict that drives killings across cities and towns in the country, whether they be defined as communal clashes or any other thing. That's going to be important. But above that is the specific one of the conflict over land that creates the herdsmen, farmers crisis in the country. And I believe that just investing a lot of time into existing research of how countries have had to tackle this problem is going to be very key to solving it. The herdsmen farmers crisis was something that this government could have handled differently from the way Boko Haram was poorly handled, but it missed the beat. It has cost us so many lives. In order for it not to cost us more lives, today is the best next time to focus on the drivers of the conflict. Then number three would, of course, be the basic security of life and property of Nigerians, so that all kinds of criminality that has cheapened the Nigerian life as a result of the poor response that we have seen over the years to the terrorism war, the herders, farmers crisis would then begin to reduce. What we seek to do in that wise is to look at the institutions, the establishments of security. The most effective thing is prevention. And prevention happens at the level of ensuring that you're building an inclusive, prosperous, and stable society. So the economy is at the center of the broad approach to security. Then second is ensuring that all of the establishments of security are put through what I call a very strong security sector reform. And the key part of that security sector reform, as I began to say about prevention, is making sure that our capacity for gathering intelligence, in other words, our intelligence assets, are brought to cutting-edge level. If we can get our security, our intelligence assets to cutting-edge level, we would be proactive, we would be preemptive, and we would be very preventive in the approach that we take to issues of security. And then, of course, I would use my leverage, my role as a leader to get a nation out of a country. Insecurity happens when people feel that nobody cares and they are not connected to the next person. And conflict is a necessary part of human relationship, but conflict is not inevitable. And in societies where the leaders know exactly how to manage the diversity of their people, there are societies that research has shown us come out to be more competitive, more innovative. And so by being the leader who everyone would recognize to be totally committed to each of them, we would candidly discuss our areas of disagreement. There would be no interest in shutting down anybody from being from dissenting. You can dissent, but what we're going to make sure you know is that there are ways of dissent that that ennoble others, that bring dignity to the discussion, and we would encourage that.